and welcome to It's a Game Show for copyright reasons. And now your host.
Hi, I'm Alex Tripplebeck, and welcome to It's a Game Show for copyright reasons, of course. Today's contestants are Astrid Uzang and Huda Khan. Thank you for joining.
Wow, look at this set. I'm in a box. The colors are amazing.
This is awesome UX design. Where are my arms?
All right, great banter. Now, as part of LD4P3, we continue exploring how linked data can enhance discovery. We are first going to cover our experimental work and then talk about some of our linked data work that's actually going into production. So starting off, Huda, pick something on the board.
There is no board.
You're right. Tim Worrell's going to read you the first question. Tim?
Thank you, Stephen. Here's our first question. What does the acronym DASH stand for? A, Discovery and Sandwich Hope. B, Daring Access Salt Hive. C, Do All Suns Hover? Or D, Discovery Across Subject Heading.
So sandwiches are great, but it's not that one. What even is a salt hive? And do suns hover? I don't know that that's accurate. I'm going to pick Discovery Across Subject Headings for $1,000.
There's literally no money. Thank you. You're correct. And now we'll show you work we did as part of DASH. You two can take a break if you want.
Where would we go?
Let's just watch the demo.
In the experimental part of this LD4P3 work, we explored how we could bring together information from linked data sources and a library catalog into dedicated pages about authors and subjects. So our library catalog shows subject information on our item view pages, but in order to get to information about that subject itself, you have to go to the subject browse page. Here is a screenshot of what our subject browse page used to look like. Information such as broader terms and alternate forms are displayed, and you can also see how many works about the Russo-Japanese War there are in our catalog. In our experimental prototype, we added subject info buttons so the user can immediately click on the info button next to Russo-Japanese War, see an image and some related information, and then click on View More Info to see the details about the subject. Clicking on that takes the user to the next page. This page uses the subject heading string to query the Library of Congress to get a URI. We then use this URI to get the Wikidata and period O information used to populate this page. The image and description come from Wikidata. Location and time information come from the period O info that matches to the subject heading. And the call numbers link comes from the classification information retrieved using the Library of Congress URI. The page also displays the number of works in the catalog about the subject, broader and narrower subjects with links to details about those subjects, results from the library catalog, digital collections, and repositories. These results are retrieved using a subject field search using the subject heading for this page. The temporal and geographic information from period O and coordinates from Wikidata are used to generate this timeline and map view. Clicking on a subject on the timeline will populate this knowledge panel with information about that subject and also highlight the related areas on the map. Clicking on Display All Subjects shows all the subjects that we have temporal and geographical information for and displays them on the timeline and map. So if you click on Sino-Japanese War, you can see information about that war and also the related areas on the map. In this map, you can also zoom in and see more information to get a more comprehensive sense of where these events take place. And you can also see the subject headings broken further down into Taisho period in history with some description where available. We also wanted to see how we could bring in information about authors. This is a screenshot of what our production catalog used to look like. Here, the info button next to the author allows the user to see how many works by and about this author are in the catalog, and also provides a full record link. The full record link then provides some information about that author, such as alternate forms and some other descriptive fields. Tim will not talk about the work we did to extend these pages.
Similar to the subject page, the label that is used as the heading on the author info page corresponds to the label in the Library of Congress name authority file. This allows us to retrieve the URI and use that to query other data sources, in this case for George Eliot. Specifically, we query Wikidata to get not just the image that you see on the page, but also to enhance the metadata for the author that is already in the catalog. The description that we provide of the author comes from DBpedia. Using the Historypedia JavaScript library, we display a publication timeline for the author. The data for the timeline comes from Wikidata. Unfortunately, this data can be inconsistent. This timeline shows Mozart's work. As you can see, the timeline is not only is incomplete, but it includes recent recordings of Mozart's works, things from the late 20th and early 21st century. Another way we've used Wikidata information is to show an influence diagram. Both writers who influenced the author that's displayed and writers for whom the author was an influence. Again, you can see an inconsistency in the data with only one writer shown having influenced Eliot. In this other example, we have the opposite case, where John Keats is shown as having had no influence on any later writers. The last tab on the author's page is reference information that was already in the catalog, with the exception of the link at the bottom, and that's a link to the Library of Congress name authority file. Again, that's using the URI, which we've retrieved by using the label at the top that uses the heading on the page.
All right, we're back. On to our next clue.
Thank you again, Stephen. And here's our second question. What do you get when you put together Wikidata, DBpedia, and Library of Congress data? A musical called "A Funny Thing Happened on My Way to Linked Data." B, metadata soup with a side of linked data salad. C, The Godfather. Or D, context and info for authors and subjects.
Oh, that's some good soup, but I'm going to go with D, context and info.
That's right. We'll now talk about that next.
I would really like to sit down.
Aren't you already in real life?
Oh yeah. We use these experimental prototypes to get user feedback through usability testing. And we also had multiple discussions with our library user representatives to assess which features or which aspects of these features could be integrated in production. We're now going to give a quick overview of the features that exist in production as a result. So here I've searched for Russo-Japanese War in the subject browse index in our current production catalog. And I can see the subject info button next to this heading. Clicking on that takes us to this page, which shows the Wikidata image and description coming from DBpedia to supplement information in our catalog about the subject. It also has the library holdings section on the right, and it has a Library of Congress subject headings link on the very bottom, and multiple call number related links, which are generated using the classification information that comes from the Library of Congress linked data service. We've also worked on integrating linked data features around authors in our production system. I will quickly demonstrate a knowledge panel on our item page, and then Tim will talk about the details page for the author. So here you can see the page for Middlemarch in our production catalog. Next to the author, we have an author info button. Clicking on this brings in information from our own browse index, but also the image and description from Wikidata. And clicking on View Fill Info will take us to the details page on the author, which Tim will describe next.
The author page that's currently in production contains fewer features than in the original Dash experiment. We've retained the DBpedia description as well as the Wikidata image and additional metadata. The publication timeline and influence diagram, however, have not been included for the reasons outlined earlier. One feature we did add was to give users the ability to browse related items by call number. The Library of Congress name authority file gives us access to the LC classification, which is what we use here.
And that's all for us. I hope you enjoyed our latest round of discovery work. Thanks to our contestants.
Wait, did we win?
Are there sandwiches?
That's right. Good night, everyone, and stay safe.